All right, class. The math standard that we will be focusing on today is to use place value understanding to round whole numbers to the nearest 10. We just finished watching on YouTube a video that had a song that will help us remember place value numbers to round up or to round down. So on your sorting mat at your desk, we have an opportunity to sort numbers. We will flip through a deck of cards, and at the top is that chant that we learned. 5 or more, you raise the score. 4 or less, you let it rest. So if the number is 5 or more in the ones place, we will know to round that up to the nearest whole 10 greater. If the number is 4 or less in the ones column, we will let it rest and we will round to the greatest whole number less than. I will show you a few examples of cards and then I will release you to work on your own. So in my deck, the first number is 2. Is 2 gonna go in 4 or less, which would be rounding down, or 5 or more, which would be rounding up? Correct, it would go in this box. So if I have 2 in my ones place, I would let it rest. It would round to the nearest whole number less. Okay, the next card is 3. If I have a 3 in my ones place, does it belong in 4 or less to let it rest, or 5 or more, raise the score? Yes, it would go in this box as well. So if I see a 3 in the ones place value, I will let it rest. It would round down. I have the number 5. Would 5 belong in letting it rest or raising the score box? Yes, 5 would go in this box. Even though it's right in the middle on a number line, we will round it up. All right, the number 9. Last example before I release you to do it on your own. Will it go in the 4 or less box to let it rest, or the 5 or more, raise the score? Correct. It's going to go in this box. If there is a 9 in the ones place, you will raise the score and round it up. Questions out we need to ask ourselves considering place value is, when do I round up? When do I round down? What do I do if a 5 is in the ones place? What are the nearest 10 numbers? So in this exercise, we practiced when we would round up and when we would round down. Let's move on to our next activity. Please take out your laminated number lines, your whiteboard marker, and the pipe cleaner I gave you with an attached bead. We will take 2-digit numbers, write the greater whole number, that is 10 greater and 10 less, and move the bead along to determine which we're going to round to. Let's do a couple examples together. Who can tell me a 2-digit number? 17. I'm going to write 17 on the whiteboard. Okay, now the first question we're going to ask is, what is the greater whole 10 number? 20. Then we will ask, what is the greater whole, or what is the 10 whole number less? 10. Okay, now we're going to take our pipe cleaner, align it to our timeline, our number line, and we're going to rest it on 17. So this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 would be right there. Now looking at the bead, we can see, is 17 closer to the greater whole 10, 20, or the whole 10 less, which is 10? The bead is closer to 20. So 17 rounded to the nearest 10 is 20. We can see that using the bead, and we can also see the ones place has a 7. Recalling our chant from the song, 5 or more, you raise the score, we know that 17 will round to 20. Let's do another example. Can someone else give me a 2-digit number? 81. All right, our first question is, what is the greater whole 10? And we'll write that here, 90. Our next question is, what is the whole 10 less? 80. Using our pipe cleaner and bead, let's find 81 on the number line. 81 will be right here. Okay, our pipe cleaner is not perfect, but it's close enough. Is the bead closer to the 80 mark or the 90 mark? Correct. It is closer to the 80 mark. So 81 rounded to the nearest 10 is 80. Let's do one more example. Let's do the number 55. This can be the trickiest because 5 is going to be in the middle. So our first question is, what is the greater 10 whole number? 60. And what is the whole 10 number less? 50. Okay, if we move our bead along this number line, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. The bead tells us that 55 is right in the middle. It's neither closer to 60 nor closer to 50. That is when we need to remember the song. The words are, 5 or more, you raise the score. 4 or less, you let it rest. So if we see a 5 in the ones column, we are going to round up to the greater whole 10 number. 55 rounded to the nearest 10 is 60. Very good.